Hi folks, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for tuning in to Eonan's Edge today. Today I'm going to be reviewing the Ruike P843 in sand and stainless. The basic specs on this knife, we've got a flat grind blade with 12C27 Sandvik steel. We got full stainless steel liners, frame liners, liner lock for the lockup. Nice engagement there too. Really solid, boom. And some nice G10 scales in sand color. So that's the basic specs on the knife. I will point out too on the blade steel, this is the older version of the knife. I've had this a little while, and the newer version of the P843 now comes with 14C28N steel, so an upgraded steel. And I believe that one, although don't quote me on this, I believe that the newer ones now have a black pivot screw and black scale screws here. And that is the only difference I've been able to tell on the other version I've seen. You're going to have to look at the blade to make sure that it says 14C28N, but the newer ones do come with the upgraded steel. Again, this is still a good steel. This is just a little bit older version of the knife. So we'll talk a little bit about the length, where we've got a 3 3/4 inch blade. And the overall length of the knife from tip to the back is 8 1/8 inches. This knife is about 4.95 ounces, so almost 5 ounces this knife weighs. It is definitely a ruggedly built knife. It feels pretty substantial in your hand. It's pretty big, as you can see. There's a lot of handle there, regardless of which hand position you're using on this knife. And I do like the way they cut the blade out here. It gives you a lot of options for what kind of grip you want to get on the knife. You can get your standard saber. You can get, move up and get a Filipino or a full purchase here for, heavy duty cutting. And if you're doing some fine work with it, because it does have a really nice point and it's very sharp and cuts well, then you're obviously going to be happy with all the hand purchases that you can get out of it. The fit and finish is good on this knife. I can't say anything bad about it. It looks like a quality knife in every way. It does have a finished stainless steel deep carry pocket clip. Again, I did notice this is one of the things that I feel like some companies kind of go the extra mile and then forget about going the extra mile sometimes. So they used button head screws here. It would have been nice to have seen these be countersunk so that you get a little bit more out of this pocket clip. So even though it's a deep carry pocket clip, you may, if you've got really thick pants, if you're doing jeans or some Carhartts or something really heavy in the winter, you might not be able to get this all the way deeply into your pocket. So that's kind of a small thing. I do like the fact that you may have noticed when I showed the knife the first time, that there's a little lock up here. And what that is it's basically a liner lock safety. So it clicks forward. It's very positive in that. It doesn't move easily. You can't just rub it back into position. And what that does is it puts this little tab, it moves this little tab in the way here so that you can't undo the liner. You can't close the knife even if you want to. That's really nice if you're doing a lot of work with it and you just don't want to have to worry about it. And then when you're done, you just simply click it back. You might have heard that. And that moves that out of the way so that you can then close the knife up. And again, it is on dual ball bearings, so it deploys really smooth. It's got a nice smooth deployment on it. I like that. All right. So there we have it. There's the P843 from Ruike. So before I show you a couple of knives for comparison, I'm going to give you two small cons about the knife. Again, this is the older version. There is a newer one. So this older version lacks the newer Sandvik steel, the 14C28N, although there's nothing wrong with the 12C27 blade steel. It is still a good mid-grade steel, and it does hold an edge pretty well, sharpens up good, and is reasonably tough. I would like to probably have the newer steel on it. And then there's one other small thing that they did. So they put this knife on dual ball bearings, but if I can get this, there we go. So if you look right here, they laser etched the serial number on the blade where the detent ball rides. Now, I don't know. I feel like, you could have put that serial number on this side of the blade, like right there, or you could have put it across the top. Maybe that is that way on some of the newer knives. Maybe they put the serial number across the top here somewhere or underneath where the blade steel is listed. But why is this a big deal? It doesn't necessarily change the function of the knife, except that when you're opening, you can see the detent cutaway right there. And that pivot ball right there rides, you can see the line that the grease is left right across there. So when you go to close this knife, you can actually, and this knife's been open and closed a lot, you can actually feel the pivot ball riding over right there, right, yeah, over that serial number that's laser etched in there. Silly. You did all this work to design a really nice knife at a very affordable price. You put dual ball bearings on it to make it open and close nice and smooth. And then, it's still a pretty smooth knife. It still closes pretty smoothly, but it's just one of those things that annoys you because you're like, darn it, like everything else is pretty good here, the button head screws here, a little bit of a detraction from the overall knife. There's things that they put in the knife that are great, especially since it's a bigger knife, but then they messed up here with laser etching right where the detent ball pivots over the blade. So I take away a little bit for that. Maybe the newer version they changed where they put the serial numbers. It's possible. So again, it's a great knife overall, and I paid, I believe, a little under $40 for this when I bought it. I think the new version is available for around $45, maybe $47. I've seen it for $45, $47. And it's rugged and well built. It's going to last a long time. It's definitely not a lightweight knife. It's got a good sized blade. So let's give you a couple of other comparisons. So let's show you the Benchmade Griptilian in full size, pivot to pivot, right next to it. So you can kind of see what you're looking at. There's a full-size Benchmade Griptilian. Obviously, this has got a little bigger blade and a little bigger handle. So if you got big hands, this is a good choice if you're looking for an under $50 knife. And then we'll show you one of my favorite carry knives that I carry a lot these days. We'll show you the Zero Tolerance 0357 in black wash. And as you can see, again, bigger, longer, beefier blade, and longer handle, longer grip and scales. All right, so that's it. That is the Ruike P843 in sand. I hope you've enjoyed the channel today. Also, I want to remind you, go down here to this bottom corner and hit the subscribe button. Also, hit the like button for me. If you've enjoyed this video, I definitely have much more in the pipeline for you guys. And as always, thank you for watching and stay sharp.